Welcome, everybody. Let's go ahead and get rolling. I know a few people are still adding, but we're going to get started. So thank you so much for joining us to our monthly What's New at SureFi. And it seems like we've got a good group today, and hopefully you've come to learn a little bit about some of our new kits and some of the new things we're doing. SureFi's been busy. We have been really busy during the time of the pandemic, especially, and it sounds like for those of you who are installers, things are just going a little bit crazy. And, a lot of people are starting to want access control places and whatever else. Anyway, so we've got a couple of new developments with SureFi that'll hopefully help with people who are moving into doors, different places, unique applications for gates and a few things that I think you'll find to be helpful. And even though we are going to kind of present these things, we want this to also be a conversation. So please either just interrupt us, and I'm going to go pull this up, or just open up your chat box, and we'll monitor that as well. If you have something that you don't want to interrupt us with and just want to say, hey, what about this? Please type your questions in there, and we will get to those as soon as we have a moment. Or if something is pressing, just start talking, interrupt us, and we'll be okay. So a little bit less formal today. But yeah, so we'll get started here. I'm going to let Brad kind of take it, at least initially, and I'm going to hang back here and try not to be too ugly. So,
all right. So in our email that we sent out, we said we were going to talk about our compact door kit and our solar kit that we have just barely launched. And so do you want me to jump in with solar kit first, or?
That'd be fine. I was just going to go with a little quicker thing so we can move that forward.
All right. So with our solar kit today, we've just got a lot of questions. People calling us up and they're like, hey, I'm out on a gate. I don't have 12 volts out here, or I've got this HOA where there's a gate and they want to put access control on a pedestrian gate or something like that. And so they came to us and said, hey, will SureFi work with solar? And we've gone out on a lot of solar installs. And so they said, well, do you have any recommendations on what would work and what works good?
And they wanted us to really, spec it out and say, okay, this one for sure will work with that one. And we hadn't really explored it enough at that point to be able to answer it.
Yeah. And so I know John has worked in his camper a lot with solar and batteries and things like that. And so we said, hey, what do you use? What's a good deal on solar? And so we decided, we put our heads together and we came up with our solar kit. And we didn't know whether we needed, to throw a 100-watt solar panel up on every install. It's a little bit big and cumbersome. And in a place where you have really high lighting, a lot of sun, you may not need that. So we came up with two options: a 50-watt, which is going to be a high sun, maybe low use area, and a 100-watt, which is going to be a low sun or a high use area.
Now, can I jump in a second?
Absolutely.
Something that it should be expressed here is that even with the 50-watt, the small one, we put that through quite a test where we actually turned it. We had it charge up the battery, and then we had it set, the SureFi set for every minute throughout the entire night. So it was as if someone was swiping a card every minute all night long, and it still didn't drop the battery very far. So the 50-watt kit still is very robust for this type of an application. You can see, it's quite a bit larger, by way of wattage than even some of the others you see, but we felt that this could be, these can be standalone units. We've tested them in the field. We've tested them with SureFi's at different power settings and things like that. And we feel confident that the 100-watt and the 50-watt will both be great for what you're doing. Now, we started this because of an inquiry in a couple different places, but specifically in Las Vegas, right? And that Vegas situation, because it's, Vegas is generally sunny, the 50-watt is the direction that they decided to go. But the 100-watt, which is behind me, is not a lot. It's not that much bigger. We have it kind of turning sideways, but either way, and there's difference in charge controllers, things like that. But anyway, Thank you for letting me jump in there real
Yeah,
quick.
not a problem. Yeah, I ran that test. I think we went from 12.9 voltage overnight, worst case scenario, pulling power. I think we dropped to like 12.7 or 12.4 or something. I have to review my video again to remember those numbers exactly. But what we have is with the 100 watt, oh, this is my video here that I made. Should we show it? And that shows the,
Sure. Is it jumping up there? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. This is the test that he did on that we were just talking about that he was just referring to. Let's take a quick look at it, and then we'll move on to the different types of units and what they do.
Hello, my name's Brad Parker. I've got a lot of questions lately about solar applications for SureFi. We've come up with what we think is going to be a good solar solution. We have made this kit in a NEMA 4 box. It has room for a 15 amp hour battery, the solar charge controller, and the SureFi device. We're going to set it up so that the heartbeat will communicate with the radios and give the max power drain with 1 watt to make sure that it will work in the solar application. So we're going to scan the controller interface. We're going to click Advanced Settings, press and hold that test button for 5 seconds. Then we're going to go into Configuration. Then we are going to change the heartbeat time to 1 minute. Click Update, click Continue. I'm just going to check the battery voltage. Right now we're 12.7 volts off of our battery. Right now we're communicating every minute with the heartbeat, and we're getting a very strong signal strength, but it should be counting every minute. I'm going to go ahead and take this kit out. We're going to hook it up to some solar panels, and we will be back later to check the voltage on our battery, see if we've gone up or down or maintained the same. From our solar panel in full sunlight, it is fluctuating between 18.8 and 19.3 volts. It is 6:52 in the afternoon, and it is charging our battery. Our battery 14.44. That's what's going out on the charge. So we'll let this sit for a while, and we'll come back and check it out, see what's going on. To help monitor the voltage on the solar panel, I downloaded the app from Renogy, and once opened, I just went ahead and clicked Add a Device, and found it really fast. I just click Connect, and it's loaded up here. So you can see that our current voltage is 17 volts with 0.38 or 42 amps with 6 watts of power. And our battery voltage is at 14.4 volts with 0.45 amps of current. At 8:15 in the evening, after the sun had went down, but it was still dusk, our voltage was at 12.7, our current was at 0.03, and our voltage on the battery was at 12.9. I'll let it run all night, and we'll see what it looks like in the morning. After communicating all night long, every minute, between the remote interface and the controller interface, our voltage went from 12.9 to 12.6 on a 7 amp hour battery. With communicating every minute, we're kind of a worst case scenario, I'm confident that we will be able to use SureFi in a solar application. We can either turn that heartbeat off or move it to 1 or 2 hours to maximize power. Click Shop Now at SureFi.com to check availability.
Okay. Hopefully you could see that. And this was just when we first started doing these kits, we wanted to make sure that we'd have enough. Now, he did it with a 7 amp hour battery. Truth is that this kit is large enough for a 15 amp hour battery to be set in there. But of course, the battery charging is important. It's important to understand what you're going to do. Now, with our 50 watt kit, it comes with this slightly smaller Renogy charger. This is a 10 amp charger, And this is what takes over the charging of the batteries. Now, if you want to have a larger battery array, larger battery bank for your solar application, that's fine. But just realize that this is a 10 amp charger that comes with the smaller one, and this is a 30 amp charger. Now, I've been doing some tests, and this particular battery, particular charger has been charging for me about a 600 amp hour battery bank, and has been keeping up just fine. Now, so it depends on how big the battery bank is. If you want to have it running, actually your gate batteries, gate operating batteries, the ones that are used to open and close your gate, you're going to want to make sure that you probably get the biggest panel, and then maybe even add a panel to it if you need to, depending on how often that gate is open or closed, but definitely get the larger controller, and it's worked really well for me. Brad also alluded to being able to jump in on the app, and why don't you talk to him a little bit about this?
Yeah.
We will have this available on our
This
our
is
website.
an accessory. It just makes a Bluetooth connection to the battery charger regulator, and it makes it so you can use that app to do the things I showed on there, to check your voltages and amp hours and things like that, to just connect through the app that way. So
It's really nice. I actually have mine up kind of a little bit, I'm probably about 30 or 40 yards from the back of my house, and I can stand inside if it's raining and pull up the Bluetooth on my phone and monitor that. So it's kind of nice. But now, when are we going to use these? How are these going to help the installers? Obviously, many of you are already in the throes of this, but if you have a scenario where you have a gate, and I was just at one about 2 weeks ago, where they had a large HOA, they had a pool right in the middle, and it was fantastic, but they had all this really nice pavers and everything, and really nicely finished. And then they realized they wanted to put an access point on the pool gates. And they said, well, oh darn it, now we've got to figure out how to get that there. Not only just get the, they could put a SureFi there, but they didn't even have power. And so what they decided to do was to get solar equipment, put it on the gate, it fairly unobtrusive. They just set it there, and they were able to just do it, have power, and the control signal from the SureFi. So, that's very helpful. Also, as many of you know, there are DC gate operators that you can get to run off of those batteries. This can be part of the solution for that system. Sometimes, you're trenching, doing all that stuff for a gate that's half a mile down the road just is not going to make sense, whereas a solar application would. So, absolutely. Maybe what we probably ought to do, I'm just checking to see if we have any questions so far. Either we are the most amazing teachers, no questions yet. That way, a couple of comments from different people. But so, any questions that you want to throw in there in regards to the solar application? Now, these are specifically designed and spec'd out for the SureFi units, and we also built in a little extra for things like mag locks, for door strikes, for card readers that are typically connected with the SureFi unit. Any questions about this before we move on to one of the other new products that we have that's really been kind of going crazy with the door kits, because we answer and solve the same issue that people are having with commercial doors. So yes, thank you, Trevor. I appreciate the comment. Trevor commented that we are the most amazing teachers, which is not even close to true, but thank you, Trevor. We appreciate that. All right, so let's go on to the door kits, shall we? Let me tell you the story while he's grabbing, or actually we're gonna bring up a video for you. I was with some installers up in Idaho, and we were out on I think it was a junior high. It was a former high school that they turned into a junior high, and so they still had all of the extensive fields and outbuildings and things associated with the previous high school. So they were wanting to add access control to this, and they had some outbuildings that were a couple hundred yards away, in a football field with some weight rooms and things like that, and the building itself had been built on multiple times. Anyway, long story short, it was an absolute disaster to try to run wire to this place. So we're out there, we're putting SureFis in, and I turned to Bryce, who was the installer, and I said, well, you know, what has your impression been of SureFi? You've been using these for a while. And he said, you know, I love the SureFi Wiegand Bridge. The thing that's frustrating for me is when I have a commercial door, I have to sometimes run power from 100 or 200 feet down the hall all the way out to the door. He says, SureFi solves the control wire problem, but it doesn't really solve, or one of the challenges with it is we haven't figured out how to do the power thing. And so we started working with both this installer as well as some of the local authorities, how to do this. And the commercial door kit, it solves the issue of power. And the way it does that is it has built in, and we'll go through a video here, but basically it comes in a small box, has built-in power supply that can take anything from 85 to 305 volts. So if you have 277 running off the lights or whatever, this allows you to pull the emergency or always on power into the box. You immediately have the power that you need. But the most important part about this is if the power goes out, you're not relying on that emergency power and its battery backup. You have your own battery backup. And so that makes it so that the authorities we spoke with were a lot more, happy about that scenario. And Bryce, who helped us develop it, he loved this thing. Now, I just got back from Denver a couple of weeks ago, and there was a company there that bought, I believe it was 48. I think it was 48. There was a big pile. I got a picture of a big pile of these things. And they had an HOA where they were going through, and it was 4 stories, enormous thing, replacing another system that had been there before. And he was able to install this. This was a new installer. He was an installer, and does not new to installing, but new to installing this kit. He had never installed the door kits before. And he was able to install the very first one in less than 15 minutes. He then proceeded through the rest of the next 2 days to do all 48 doors by himself in 2 days. Now, that is making a lot of money for your company. The door kit makes that possible, whereas if he'd had to do it without the door kit, this would have taken an awful lot of time. So we have a video for him, don't we?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
So this video here talks about installing the compact door kit.
Many installers are discovering our compact door kit as a simple and effective way to get doors done. Here is one example at Commons Park West in Denver. What do you do when your current system isn't working reliably and has no ability to expand? This massive 4-story complex with hundreds of apartments turned to DGO Access to fix it.
So I'm Kyle with DGO Access. I've been a technician here for 7 years. We've been working with these SureFi bridges for maybe the last year or so. So they had an older system here that didn't quite have as good or as new of technology as the SureFi. So they were having a hard time sending data to all the doors, as well as their main control system was completely filled up with memory. They were unable to add more residents to the system.
They brought in 52 SureFi compact door kits because of both reliability and speed in installation. DGO only had a single installer available, so he had to be able to quickly install each one and move on, or he would be there for a month. Though he has used many of the SureFi bridges, this is a first with the compact door kit. Here you see a time lapse of Kyle's installation of the door kit. As you see, even when adding some extra steps unusual to this install, such as removing the back plate and drilling an extra hole, he's able to do this first one in less than 15 minutes. The installation of the compact door kit is very simple. You first remove the screws holding the flash cover, then tip the flash cover up, giving access to the power supply and the Wago connectors provided for easy connection of any local or emergency power from 110 to 277 AC. Always check your local guidelines. Then replace the flash cover, wire in your accessories onto the labeled terminal block, plug in a 12-volt battery, and you're finished.
Install was very easy. We had 110 AC coming in through the back of the wall there that we hooked into the transformer that's built into the SureFi box. And then we were able to directly hook up our carburetor and our stripe to the bridge. Made for a very easy and quick install. I think it was just 15 minutes at the door, and then I could not even imagine pulling wire through this building. I don't think that it would be feasible. It would not be realistic whatsoever. Probably not doable. Yeah, we'd need probably 10 guys out here for a month pulling wire. So this certainly saved us a lot of time as well as money. So we are getting nearly full bars, 5 out of 6 bars on that. And we are a good distance away through a ton of walls and still getting great signal.
The SureFi Compact Door Kit, the easy way to get doors done.
Okay, so as you can see, small little compact door kit, and we'll show you our little larger commercial door kit too, but that thing's only 8 by 10 inches by 4 inches deep. And it was really a lifesaver for these guys. They just brought in a pile of them, knocked out that whole place in 2 days. So anyway.
Yeah, I don't know how fast you guys can get keypads and door strikes and that installed, but 15 minutes to run wire, or we're wire replacement, but instead of running wire, that sometimes takes a long time, to be able to get that done in 15 more minutes. I mean, probably get a door done in an hour. Especially those doors that are hard to reach, you know, the ones down that hallway that they're like, we're not going to put access control on that one because there's no way to get wire to. Well, we don't have to get wire there now or power if there's an exit sign by it. So this makes it super easy to get those doors that are hard to get to, and or to save a lot of labor on all the other doors as well. Like I'd say put it on all of them if I was an installer, but yeah. That's just me.
Now you saw that it was tacked right to the wall, which is fine. I mean, that's definitely an option, but you can also put it up in the drop ceiling, you know, wherever you really want to. Sometimes there's a utility closet, but they're NEMA 4 boxes, so you can put them outside if you want. It doesn't matter. It's really a flexible box, can really be put anywhere. And those who've been using it, they actually really like it. One of the other things that's really nice is that you don't have to get your conduit perfect. If you have conduit coming in from other places, let's say you have it coming through a frame or whatever, with the metal knockout boxes, obviously you have to get that just right. With the NEMA 4 box, you just drill it wherever it is. So just something that I've noticed out on installs that people really like about it. But for those of you who are perimeter guys, your gate guys, your company maybe just does mostly perimeter and dabbles in the door market, this is a great entree into the commercial door world. This makes it easy. You don't have to fight anything. You just get the power from the door, and you know, in different places they have different regulations about that. And of course, you want to always check that. But and then you've got your access, you've got your control wire there, you got your power there, and you can get it done quickly. And it's really a great transition for you and your team. So I got that one. So let's show them the commercial door kit. I'm going to try to click on that. There you can see the difference in size. We've got a compact door kit on the right, and that's 8 by 10. The commercial door kit, which is on the left, is right over here. Let me see if I can grab that. Yeah. And this one is bigger. Yeah. Thanks. Right?
Yeah.
Congratulations. Bigger, right? So this one is bigger. This is also including the 24 volt output. So you have the same power supply ability to come in 85 to 305 volts AC, but this also includes a 24 volt for accessories such as crash bars or whatever else is a 24 volt accessory. We have a 24 volt charging SureFi unit here, as well as 24 volts battery backup. These are two 12 volts, 5 amp hours just wired up in series. This is a larger solution. This is if you're in a situation where you've got to also have the 24 volt accessory. So won't go into that a lot, but this is really handy.
Comes in 1 door and 2 doors. So you can get 2 SureFi bridges or pairs of bridges with the 2 door.
Yeah, it also comes in beige and beige. All right, so we actually have a little video of one of our great installers, Brian, actually doing the compact door kit. You know, time-wise, yeah, we've got a few minutes. We'll show this to you, and then we'd love to have some questions. Love to have you ask us what's going on at SureFi. What about this? What about that? Oh, you know what? We need to talk about this too. Let me talk about this before we go into that video. This little box has been used for us, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's you know, partially due to the pandemic a little bit.
I think so. I think so. What this is the portable access point. And it can be used for a lot of different things, but people have been buying these up quite a bit because what this kit does is it has a SureFi inside, and it allows you to put this box anywhere in a building and use it. People can swipe their cards, their fobs, whatever, put in a code, and keeps track of wherever they are, wherever they're going for contact tracing. It can be a portable mustering location. It can be used inside of a corporation to keep track of who is at what meeting. Maybe it's an OSHA meeting, maybe it's a training meeting. They just want to know who's there. It could be used for schools. It could be used all sorts of things. And this little box has a battery inside. You plug it in at night, and then you can just take it out wherever it was. It started with the pandemic, with COVID, being out in the field, kind of some field tents for field hospitals. But this has been one that's been used by a lot of different people. We just are sending some out, a bunch out to Singapore as well. So that was a project that we worked on today with this kit. So portable access point is really nice. It's kind of like the commercial door or the compact door kit, but it doesn't have to be connected to a door. It can be a portable point anywhere that you want access control. And we've got an exciting one coming up down in Florida. So we'll have to tell you about that another time. We've got kind of a unique location where they're putting a portable access kit down in Florida. It's in Miami. So anyway, we'll tell you a little bit more about that later. Okay, so we'll show you this video. And while we're showing you this video, please come up with questions for us. We'd love to hear questions on either the compact commercial door kit or anything else that's going on at SureFi. I realize there's a lot of us on here, but please don't feel, don't be shy about asking about anything that we've got going on, because we'll do our best to answer.
We're the guys that have to look funny on video. So.
That's right, which we're very good at, looking funny on video.
Here at Green River High School, one of SureFi's newest products is being installed. Brian Christensen with Superior Security Services is installing the SureFi 12-volt compact door kit. This differs from our standard commercial door kit in that it does not provide the 24-volt accessory power. As you can see, the compact door kit is substantially smaller, can be used in tighter spaces, and is more discreet and lightweight when only 12-volt power is needed. It includes a single-door SureFi bridge as well as a 5-amp power supply and 12-volt battery monitoring built in.
So today we used a compact door controller. This is the first time I've used this controller. Normally I've been using the standard footprint of the commercial door controller. And in this particular application, the compact was really useful because I had a small area that I needed to get this controller in, and it worked out very well. We had this concrete ceiling and grouted frames. So in this application, the door controller just was spot on. So what we did with this one is, what I really liked about it is the footprint, and also I'm utilizing many of the relays. I'm using door position switches EPSs, and I'm also using an alarm. So what that's really doing for us is that if the door gets propped, it's going to go into an alarm. And what's been helpful is I really like using the app. It was really great for me to kind of figure out what's going on locally before I go to the head end and resolve and eliminate any problems. What I like to do is I like to pull the app up on every door, and I simply can just test relay one, or my door locks. So I know that they're working. I know the power's being sent to the locks. I know the locks are wired in properly. And then on relay 2, I have the prop door alarm. So what's going to happen in that scenario, if the door is propped for more than 30 seconds, it's going to go into an alarm, and the alarm will continue to run as long as the doors are open. So long story short, the compact door controller was a huge success for me today. What I like about this door controller is it made it really easy for me to install my conduit. With the other type of enclosures out there, with the metal knockouts, what this box gave me a lot of flexibility to put my conduit wherever it landed. So as you can see here, I have several different boxes on the wall with conduit ran in different places. This enclosure not only allows me to have my Wiegand bridge in here, but I'm also using, this is where I'm storing my prop door alarm. And it leaves me room also for my battery backup. Closes up real nice, real pleasing to the eye, and the customer's gonna be very happy with it.
Okay. I'm gonna get our faces back on there. Sorry about that, you guys. All right, so just a quick review. We've got the 50 watt and the 100 watt solar kits that help you do a lot of different things. But from you guys, and we also talked about the compact door kit. What applications are coming to mind as we throw these out there? What are you thinking about? Like, maybe this would work for that. Maybe this would work for this. Love to hear your questions either in the chat box or just jump in, because we're here to answer. So we're going to give that just a second as you guys kind of be thinking about that. One thing that I don't know if I think we mentioned, but I get a lot of questions about, well, hey, can the SureFi charge this large battery bank? If you remember, in the solar kit, those can charge those larger battery banks. The SureFi itself can charge a 5 or 7 amp hour, maybe even up to 10 amp hour battery backup for its own enclosure. But if you go into some larger battery banks or to do standalone solar, it's better to go with the solar kit and one of these included charge controllers in the solar kit itself. So just a quick reminder on that. Any questions before we start wrapping it up? We'd love to hear what you're wondering about. SureFi,
some of our best ideas are not our ideas at all. They come from you guys.
we steal them from the installers.
Yeah.
That's what it comes
So
down
we're
to.
hoping that we've got your mind spinning a little bit and got you thinking of some ways that you could use it, and we hope that you'll reach out to us and share those with us. We love to hear how you're using SureFi in the field.
Yeah. In fact, I was just down in central Utah. What was this, 3 or 4 days ago? And one of our installers came up with this great idea. And that was that they had all these trucks that were coming into this fenced yard for this service company. And they wanted to be able to open that fence up from a further distance away. So, because by the time they're sitting there waiting for the fence to open up, the traffic's all backing up behind them. And he came up with the idea about using our one to multiple. So he was going to be having multiple trucks with the black end receivers, using the 2 return relays and triggering the gate. I would never come up with it, but now he's got all these service trucks that can be outfitted with a little button that'll open up that gate over a mile away. So they don't have to wait for everybody coming up behind them. Just an example of an idea that I would not have come up with, but we had a great installer who was willing to say, hey, would this work? What about that? And so we'd love to hear from you guys, your thoughts and ideas. And we love making those ideas a reality. So I'm not getting any questions, not getting anything through the chat box. So we'll kind of head toward the wrap up section, Brad's going through some of the different examples of the door kits, the commercial door kits, the compact door kits, which has been huge for us, making it really easy for one guy to do a lot of things. So thank you for joining us today on What's New at SureFi. Hope you enjoyed learning about the solar kit and a compact door kit today, and a few little things of other things. We really appreciate you joining us. And I know that there are some that have asked us in the chat whether or not we can get a recording to you, which we will. That'll be posted on our website under this heading of What's New at SureFi. You'll be able to click on the tab and see a recording if you have any questions about what we've been talking about. Also, little contact information for Brad and myself, and please take those down. Those are numbers you can contact us with, or emails. Love to hear your ideas. Love to hear any pain points that you have that we could possibly help you solve. So thanks you so
guys.
much. Appreciate it. We'll leave it on. So if you have any questions, throw it on the chat for a second. And Randy was asking if we can get CEUs for this. We can send you out a certificate for a certain number of hours, and most relicensure places will take that from a manufacturer. So Randy, if you want to, shoot me an email and I can get you a certificate out for the half an hour that we spent here today. Sounds great. Some of you all, if anybody else needs CEUs, continuing education unit credits, contact us with these and we'd be happy to send that out to you. And that should work for you. Hopefully that answered your question, Randy. By the way,
And if you need more than a half hour, reach out to us. We can schedule you some training as well. So
very true.
on other products or get any questions you have answered.
We do a lot of training. So if you have a group of guys that you need, or girls that you need training with for installations or wiring or whatever else you need, reach out to us and we'll get you rolling. So thanks so much for joining us today for our What's New at SureFi. And any questions or comments, shoot to us. Appreciate you being here. Have a wonderful day.